The one thing that's standing out to me as this match gets underway is those health packs for gear. 26. Jeez Louise. That's out of control. As yet again, we have ETF2L Week 7, Season 16. Lots of season. Epsilon, TLR, Epsilon on the red side, TLR on the blue side as we see Numlocked roll out through that garage area, get some nice stickies onto his. Both of them do connect, and then shooting them up at those scouts, but he is bombed right away as Nadir goes down. We're talking about Nadir making those bombs. It just didn't work that time. As, what am I even saying? Everybody is going absolutely massive. Hiss connects with a nice pipe, and everybody for Epsilon has died. That was unbelievable. You said it exactly. They used him as a distraction, that Nadir bomb, and the rest of them came in and cleaned everybody up. So Raymond is fighting this scout, gets a saw onto him, but he's taken down by Kyler for fun. They did exactly what we were just saying they needed to do, and it worked for him, as that's the first mid-fight we see TLR win in this game, as Epsilon for once is actually on the back foot of this. Full Uber advantage in favor of TLR. And they haven't taken yard yet, waiting for those spawns, as we see a sniper, Stefan, waiting for them to come into that second point, and they just haven't done that yet.
Bash runs forward there and spots that the TLR push is coming from the right-hand side in the defender's perspective. Gear is committed to Lunchbox, so he could be a pick here if TLR want to work that, but they have the Uber advantage and they're very determined to use this. They're going to lead all the way into last. They've sent Heist in as the Uber fades. There's Stefan, gets the headshot onto Nadir. And that was an early Uber there from Evil Moon. They realised it was bad and they thought they'd gamble, send in their demo man to make something happen, but he didn't get the pick on to Remo, and then he gets Stefan there with some bizarre sniper play, and it all just fell apart from TLR there. Smarter team, a better team would have just said, wow, this Uber was really bad, stop and cap the point, but they didn't. They got really spread out, tried to fight like 4 different fights, and they deserved to lose that one for sure.
I didn't actually see what forced that Uber there, but we're going to see a lot of fighting going on as Hiss connects with Raymond with a nice pipe. Rick goes down, the only one down for TLR, but everybody else is in that red HP, and Evil Moon is just not able to get to him as Bash takes him out while he is mid-air. Gear and Bash, the only two alive. Bash is very, very low right now as he is going to get that pack, maybe? No, Kyler takes him out before that pack is picked up. Questionable decision by Bash, but doesn't really matter now because he was not the only one left. Gear takes out somebody with that black box, and he's just going absolutely ham with that black box. It's hard to kill him. He's always got help. Stays alive much longer than Bash, and he's already hard to kill without the black box in the first place. So I don't know, it's kind of using a crutch without needing to use a crutch.
You think the black box is a crutch? It's tough, man. Gear's the only guy I've seen using it in the Prem consistently, and it's hard to judge whether it is an effective usage of it because you know his team's so good, but hey, he's using it and he's still winning. So we'll have to trust his judgment there. Right now, Epsilon are trying to probe their way into the red ramp room, clearing out those stickies, working their way slowly but surely forward. Neither medic has Uber yet, but Ramon has a 9% lead there as he's ticking up to that full charge. Evilman will definitely get his Uber in time to defend, and Epsilon know that. They're just taking this one very cannily. They're going to peek here, see if anyone wants to give them a cheap frag. Heist realises there's a lot of Epsilon players blobbed up there, grouped up in that run room. He walks forward and tries to deal some splash damage to the big group there, the collective of Epsilon, but he's going to back off and reload, and this is sort of the classic granary stalemate. And I know Heist in particular probably isn't going to take many risks here. He's a pretty thoughtful defensive demo man, and I'm just expecting this to just go like this for many minutes until somebody dies or somebody gets bored and pushes.
Right, well, with all of these players for Epsilon kind of stacking this garage side, and TLR does know that too, you'd almost expect them to move over into a wrapping sort of position by that health pack, which is what they're doing just now, but they actually had a couple opportunities to wrap around Epsilon, as there were 5 players at one point in the garage and nothing came of it. But like you said, they're just going to opt to play this defensively.
Numlock's moving in on the left now. Mike makes a distraction from the rump room. Num's come in alone now. Gear's going to join them as well, and they're just they've crowbarred their way in here, man, without having to even pop off Uber. Neither medic opted to pop now. Evilman pops first. Raymond drops his Heist. Rain stickies down on him from above. He just got Annihilated there. Didn't see that the Demo Man was right above him, so high in the sky. And dropped that one. Didn't see the damage coming. Big spike there, forced the drop. There's a little bit of a back cap going on though, as Epsilon Scout pairing are going toe to toe with TLRs, but they have a little help from Evelyn. The heals are going to be strong enough here, and Kyler and Rake will win that one as their soldier Nadir goes forward and caps CP4. And what a turn of events there. TLR somehow coming up strong with that Ramon with the critical drop there, I think.
It was a very, very, very huge play. That Uber popped much earlier by Evil Moon. They needed to either drop or run away, and they got that drop. Crazy play by Hiss, and it worked. And now they've got a full Uber advantage, and they want to use this moving into that right side. Not getting many picks, as all of Epsilon is on the left side with that heavy. That heavy has finally gone down. Bash was his name, as Stefan is taken down by Kyler for fun. Gear also goes down to some nice rockets by Nadir. And now we see TLR in a very favorable position, as Raymond is the only one alive for Epsilon. And they take that 1-0 in favor of TLR. I didn't expect to say that, but I just have. What do you think?
Yeah, man. Mad props to TLR there for actually walking in and doing a solid slow push. A lot of teams push against Epsilon even with Uber advantage and still fail, but they just tried to focus down their targets, maintain the man advantage, and they didn't lose their scouts, which was important. They were always there for the cleanup as well. But onto this middle, we're going to see TLR roll it in from the left hand side, and not really committing onto the point right now. Numlock's there and he's putting a lot of damage onto those choke points, but he's getting forced back, pressured out as both scouts from Epsilon go down, and that is so crucial right now. And how often do you see Epsilon scouts down on a middle? They've gone down here on Granary, and it's Numlock and Raymond who are trying to look for the exit, but TLR have somehow find a way to really make Epsilon crumble here. They're looking not like themselves at all. I'm just confused, Beasly. I'm scratching my head here, man.
It's the drop. It's just confusing everybody. I don't know what's going on. Raymond's probably kicking himself as we see TLR move into that lunch box area and pick Stefan, but Rake goes down as well as the Uber is popped by Raymond. TLR is still in that lunchbox area with an entire Uber to just walk right in with Hiss. And Raymond is in a very bad spot as that Uber is popped by TLR. They take out Bash, they take out Gear, and Numlocked will most likely be the next to go. If anything can connect, it looks like it can't, as Hiss and Kyler for fun go down in a little bit of an overextension. They didn't realize that their team was backing out because of the dire situation that they had just put themselves into. And now you see Mike jumping around trying to get to that health pack. He's going to get to that health pack, and now they're going to try and kill every... Rake is going to fight with Mike in that lunchbox area. There's a lot of action going on here. It must be lunchtime. Rake is sitting on top of that bar in the garage, and nobody knows it, as we're going to probably see a back cap here. Oh, we're going to see a back cap here as Rake is just waiting to get onto that as Hiss goes down to bad. And there's action on middle, but that action is very, very much so not important, as both scouts are behind for the last resort and one spawn.
It's all up to Raymond. Oh, he's not going to do it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, I can't believe it. Just seeing Epsilon crumble a little bit. They've gone down 2-0 here. This is better than I could have possibly expected. We actually have a game on our hands, Beasly. Sure, there's still 18 minutes left for Epsilon. No, wait. Hammy Hud, you're always broken. 20 minutes left to come back and crush faces here, but on to another middle. And I'm going to be watching Stefan and Bash to see if they can actually survive this one, man.
Yeah, Stefan and Bash haven't survived these mids for the most part, as we see Bash go down very early. He's the first pick of it. We're going to switch our eyes over to Rake. He's getting some nice shot as Stefan is able to take out Calho. He's able to take out Nadir, and Numlock takes out Hit. So, one scout seems to be enough for Epsilon. And they just don't know what to do as TLR is backing out through that garage side. Rake is at 44 HP, who's going up against a literal onslaught in Mike. And they're just going to opt to back out, even though they have that man advantage. Mike is just way too scary for Rake. And Epsilon are capping up this middle point. It was kind of a unorthodox mid there, to be honest. Bash went down very early, but Stefan just kind of played his heels and was a powerhouse on that mid fight and has literally pushed everybody out on his own. But both teams do have Uber here, and like you said before, Greenery is a typical stalemate map. But Epsilon wants to break that right away, and they are going to as they take that left yard, which is completely undefended by TLR, and get in without having to use their Uber. The Uber is popped first by the Last Resort, and Epsilon pops second, meaning that they can flash and aren't going to lose people. And as I say that, they lose gear.
Scout
Bash
behind.
and Numlock. Scout behind. Where? Oh my goodness.
Bash is really a thorn in their side here. He's isolated even when he's gone down to the pistol there. And just as everybody from TLR was trying to fight Epsilon up front, Bash in from the flank. Absolutely crushed faces there. Now they're going to get their first round on the board and show TLR who's boss, baby.
That was a very demanding round there. They said, no, you cannot backcap us anymore. We're sick of it. We don't like it. We're just going to kill you all so that doesn't happen. And it
Bash
didn't happen.
Out the staff, man. He slammed it down on the bridge and he said, "You shall not pass!" Or something like that. But onto another middle. It's going to be Heish rolling out up top. And immediately pre-fires the sticky, but for once Numlock is actually faster. He's dropped down in a beat at that one. And oh, he's doing big damage onto the TLR scouts, and this might be a sea change here. Rake is pretty weak. He's unable to assist. Bash is going to pick up 2 there. Those damage calls from Numlock ever so effective. He's putting out a lot of damage, but all importantly, his teammates are finding those weak players and cleaning them up. And wow, Epsilon scouts doing work on that middle. They've figured out what it was they were doing wrong, and I think this is going to be a quick response, a quick second round on the board. I'm going to call it early. Oh, Ramon's gone down. What am I talking about, Beasly?
I don't know what you're talking about. Gear is also sitting around on that second point at... He was at 4 HP for quite a while, so if anybody had come in and just literally breathed on him with their stinky gamer breath, he probably would have went down. But he's able to get that pack and get some cap time and does not die at all. Crits, they have come up on crits. Epsilon has opted for that crits creek, but there's still a full Uber advantage for TLR, so they are going to want to take out Raymond with this Uber, and it looks like they're in a perfect position to do so as the Uber is popped onto him, and he goes right into that garage area, and Raymond does go down to some nice rockets from Calho, and Hiss takes out Mike while he's trying to equalize away. The back cap is on, but is quickly shut down by the Last Resort, who are in a wonderful position.
Look at Bash. He's hiding in the right yard, the left yard in his perspective. He's just chilling out here. If he's got his wall hacks on, he's looking directly at that soldier who's hiding there. He hears that soldier jump and he knows the respawn soldier comes in. As he comes for the med pack, he's going to step out and try and block here, but he spots another soldier immediately. And he does trade with Calio, but he will go down. The back cap is no longer on. On this middle fight, it's TLR with 4 against Epsilon with 4. No Uber charges applicable yet, and look at Rake, man. He's doing work. Just destroyed Stefan and Numlock. Still crits creek here for Raymond, and TLR have 6 up now. They're going to be able to envelop these remaining Epsilon players and send them to the morgue. Oh, Mike's going to actually get out with nearly 200 HP. Raymond still has that crits creek in play, but Evil Moon has the Uber charge. He wins as long as he pops, man. As long as he execute, TLR win in this situation, but that isn't always the way it happens, Beasly.
Yeah, Crits Krieg does not work against invincible people, and Evil Moon is able to pop that Uber well before he is blown up from a crit sticky. But there are still some, and it takes out Nadir. They forgot all about him. Or maybe they thought the Uber was going to last a little long. No, thank goodness Evil Moon didn't go down. Otherwise, he'd be getting screamed at, and that Mumble would be quite a volatile place to hang out in. But the Crits Krieg failing means that TLR is still on that second point, and they cap it. Regardless of Nadir and Rake being down, they should be able to get this Uber and walk right in, because Raymond is still on crits, and they still have the disadvantage with that crits Krieg. It's going to be very, very close. Oh, Nadir spawning heavy is a terrible thing, as heavy for Greenery last is very, very frightening. Heavy all the time is frightening. What am I even saying? But we're going to have to see something crazy happen, as Evil Moon knows that if they have any chance here, they're going to use this crits Krieg and force the Uber. But Evil Moon dropped to a crazy sick rocket from Mike, who takes out 3. 4 have gone down, 2 are alive for TLR, and that is literally what you do not want to have happen. Evil Moon was caught, he couldn't see the crits popped, and the communication just wasn't there for TLR as that rocket connects to him. And literally, tears of absolute dismay have been just
Kyler onto Raymond, 2 shots him! Just hiding in there on the little med pack, on that candy bar in the rump room. Crouched in the shadows there, comes in and gets that medic pick. He was thinking about going for the back cap, then he was just straight in there, man. Got that medic. 2 shots between the shoulder blades. Raymond down. He's going to respawn. Will he stay with the crits creek? That's my question. But big advantage here for Evilmoon, who himself did go down. Raymond has switched it back to Medigun, so it's going to be an uber battle here. They're building furiously in the yard right now. Numlock setting up a sticky trap in the blue rump room as well. And I'm just watching Nadir hiding up on this lamp. He thinks Epsilon are going to push. No way, man. No way.
Yeah. There's 15 minutes left in this match, and TLR are winning 2-1. So on a map like Granary, it's very simple to just sit back with a couple heavies and never lose. But they're going to opt to keep on pushing into this middle as that Uber comes in through the garage side. Nadir is taken down by Stefan, as Hiss is not actually in this fight at all, but a nice sticky trap takes out Stefan, who's trying to aggress into that. But Epsilon, playing with their heels, are going to be able to clean everybody up because most of TLR did not come into that fight. And you now see Hiss and Evilmoon sitting back in that left yard area with some stickies that take out Bash, but that full Uber is going to walk right into there, and it looks like Hiss is going to go down without having to have that Uber popped on him. And Epsilon is just going to walk in here, and if TLR isn't careful, they're going to have a lot of invulnerable players on the best team in the world walking into their faces. And it looks like just that is happening as Nadir goes down, Rake goes down, Hiss is just spawning, and Calho goes down. And that Uber still has not been popped as Epsilon is walking right into their faces with this about 40% Uber advantage. Not getting any picks yet, but everybody is kind of stuck out. Kyler does go down after the Uber is over, but there's no demo to shoot them off the point. And it's going to be 2-2. All tied up now.
Yeah, and I think the last resort were really masters of their own destiny there. That Uber push from 2 to 3 was terrible. I mean, sure, it's like one of the toughest pushes in the game, but they had advantage. They went in and just floundered. There was a couple of easy picks. I don't say easy picks. There was a few guys they could have killed if they just turned around and dealt with them, but they chose to push forward, pick too many fights, and Epsilon just played them like a fiddle onto this middle. Though Numlock walks in from Rump Room and sees Heist spamming up top and pushes him out a little bit. But there comes the bomb from Gear. He actually jumps past Evilmoon and goes for the scout instead. Clearly he has a strategy here, wants to give his scouts the advantage on this middle. He will go down himself though, but Numlock has found Heist, and that's Demo Man advantage here for TLR as the man advantage slips away from them. They find themselves 3 against 4 Epsilon players. Evilmoon is holding on for dear life here. They're going to send in 1 scout as a sacrificial offer there. Rake is going to lay his body down so that Evilmoon can survive, but TLR lost that middle fairly convincingly. They have kept their medic up though, so we're going to actually see a fight here on CP4 Beasly. How happy does that make you?
That makes me incredibly happy. Almost as happy as it did to hear you say play this middle like a fiddle. As we see the Uber popped incredibly early by Epsilon as Raymond was in a little bit of danger there in that Z. But the exchange goes off finally, and Epsilon still have a man advantage out of this. As Evilmoon is down, Kyler is spawning very soon, and Nadir is down. And as I say that, Calho goes down, and Raymond might. He does! Takes out Rake in that Z. Absolutely outplayed him. Things are going crazy right now. They couldn't have asked for a better push there. And, it's just...
Kyler spawns and finds Gear up top. It's gone down instantly, and any chance of TLR holding on the last here is just slipping away from them. As long as they keep losing players like that in different spawn waves, they're going to really struggle to hold on against this Uber advantage. And it is possible, but not if you keep losing. Guys, now they're 2 down, 3 down. Epsilon yet to lose a player here as the Uber fades. They're about to make it 3-2 here with 10 minutes to go on Granary. And definitely we've seen more of the game, but it's been 3 rounds without response here from Epsilon, who have just figured out why they were failing on middles or why they were losing those engagements. Sure, one was a back cap, but they seem to have tightened things up, man. They've had an opportunity to throw a little cold water in their face, look at themselves in the mirror and say, "You're the best, you're the champion, you can do this." So here they are. They're still the kings, baby.
Yeah. Baby. These mids are getting out of control. But Evilmoon is going to try and walk up to that.
Stefan's just in all the way on the right hand side. He's just come in. Nobody was on the floor. Nobody saw Stefan. He started shooting people in the back, but it's Mike who seems to be picking up the bulk of the frags there. Ice will actually survive long enough to clean up, and oh, Evilmoon with the 2 saws onto Numlock. Stefan still a man alive. He's coming in behind here. Ice is exposed. He goes down, but the medic will not pop. Evilmoon has maintained his uber advantage, but no, Demo Man is probably going to slow things down as they push forward here. It'll be interesting to see how they play this one. Do they want to just slow the game down a little bit, or do they want to try and play the tiny advantage that they have here in this current situation? I mean, like, they could go forward with a scout and a medic, but it would be unwise.
It would be unwise, as we've seen a lot of interesting pushes here. That would definitely be the most interesting push that we would have seen. Thankfully, they haven't done that. They're waiting for their spawns. They still have a 50% Uber advantage, and nobody is in yard. Epsilon is actually building pretty far back, as they just want to get this force here, and they do get the force kind of uncontested there. And yeah, TLR knows this time that they just have to cap this point and not take their Uber all the way in and lose everybody. But Nadir does go down, and the rest of them are just going to kind of sit there. And they know that Epsilon's going to be pushing now because they do have Uber as Calho and Rake go down. You're getting those black box frags, but Kyler for Fun is trying to get into that last point. Can he? No, he can't. He takes Mike down to 18 HP, but the rest of his team has gone down in that yard. And Epsilon literally just had everything go perfect for them, and they're going to get mid off
I feel like
of this.
Evilmoon and Heist could have got out there if they'd both like backed off to the right side, but they got separated, and Heist was trying to get picks on the door while Evilmoon was fighting a scout. They probably could have survived that one, but now Evilmoon gets the worst spawn as well. He's going to spawn way after the rest of his team. They're probably not going to be able to hold or even force on CP4, but actually, as I say that, a big attempt there from the Deer gets shut down. And just going back to the plays from TLR there, every time they are pushing in an Uber advantage, they're popping way too early, man, just like gifting that opportunity to end. But right on to this point, Numlock's just walked in from the flank here. Recharge will pop this time, just as a soldier lands a meaty rocket on him from above. Only Nadir remains alive. He's just respawned, in fact, as Epsilon start to accelerate and push farther into the lead here, making it 4-2. Just TLR, like, their Ubers are really bad, and every time Heist is in a situation where he has to deal damage or get picks, he's not getting them. He's really sucking out. Like, he's a big damage demo man, he plays smart, gets a lot of damage out, but in the clutch situations where he needs frags, he is not delivering for his team. It's the scouts and Calio who seem to have been doing a lot of the work on this map so far, and he needs to start getting frags, man.
He does indeed, and we're not seeing many frags come out of him right now, as Numlock looks like he's getting the bulk of the damage, and Bash actually takes out Heist very, very early. Everybody for TLR has just gone down simultaneously. I can't talk that fast to cover all that action, but Kyler for Fun is going to opt to run away with his little, or not, as he comes right back in through that left side, catches a soldier. That is Mike trying to get that health pack, and is still there, finally taken down by Bash before he is able to reap way too much havoc to deal with. And Epsilon again with a very, very commanding mid, and just like you said, Hess is just not able to do enough damage and get the frag. And again, he goes down as he's caught out by Gear, who does go down to Nadir, but
Crits
that's not...
for Raymond.
Oh my, they are just really laying
Fifth
it to
gear,
TLR. Yeah, like...
No mercy now, take
just...
those prisoners. They're like, yeah, we've got an advantage, now we've got an even bigger advantage. We're going crit screen too, baby. Oh, they're about to get violated. Do TLR no? Doesn't look like it. Numlock, he's going to wait and wait until he gets a perfect moment. Oh, he pops off crits, but as he does that, he gets juggled. But he finds Evilmoon with a magic sticky there through the roller door. Somehow, with a homing stick, he gets that all-important medic pick. So vital when you use crits against Ubercharge, and it's close like that. Calio will trade with Mike on Z, but he's going to come in again. The rest of his team does, and there's a lot of damage coming in here for TLR, even though they don't have heals. They might just be able to find a perfect storm here to push forward and pick up frags, but it looks like Bash is going to be able to force this scout on the flank. That's Rake, who survived for a long time before Stefan came in to steal that one from Bash, and Epsilon have just managed to Muller these guys. It's going to be 5-2 here, and on that clock I see 5 minutes remaining. Still an opportunity for TLR, but it's looking grim, Beasly.
It is looking grim indeed, as this is probably the fastest 5 rounds I've ever seen anybody take. And actually no, the last map was definitely the fastest. What was that, a 4-minute match? Or something like that? And we're going to watch Stefan on this mid-fight, see what he wants to do as he opts to not use the winger to get on top of those crates. But he gets some nice, at very advantageous room as he's able to walk up and get a nice shot onto the demo. Walks right back over and takes out that floating soldier. As Gear, Numlocked, and Mike get the frag. Actually, Mike is down now. But those scouts want to get in there as Evil Moon is in a very bad spot, and Hiss is just not able to protect him there as he's going to go down as well. As Stefan does actually get the kill with the basher, but it's not going to count for the kill.
Man, Gear has been so instrumental in this turnaround here from Epsilon. Every middle now, he's just going for the scouts. He's not shooting anybody else. He's really trying to take Rake and Kyler out of the game. I think Epsilon identified those players as the sort of the strength of the TLR middles, and they are just getting destroyed. Gear is all over them. That's going to be 6-2 for Epsilon as they convert another middle win into a round. This is match point here for them. If they win this one, Beasly, it's going to be win difference 5. And that will be the full 6 points in ETF2L. Can TLR turn it around? Can they make something happen on this middle?
I don't know, but I am definitely praying for them. So we're going to see a left side rollout. I'm watching Evil Moon here. Let's see if he gets those meaty heals onto the people who need it. So he's healing up his demo, and it looks like their team wants to take that left side approach as they're going to wrap around the crates and get onto them. No frags yet for either team, and as I say that, Numlock goes down, but Kyler goes down as well for the last resort. Nadir is taken out by Mike, who is still alive, trolling that left side crate, looking for people to shoot at. He's just not finding them as he actually tries to bomb his own medic, who does connect with him and get some heals as Hiss goes down very late in the fight, and Calho is the last alive on that health pack as he grabs it, and Mike magically gets that kill before his scouts can get it, and they're probably yelling at him for stealing that. But that was very, very good mid-fight by Epsilon, and yeah, I knew that, I called that TLR wasn't going to be able to win that. I mean, that was my prediction. I'm never wrong with my predictions. But
Mystic Beasly.
Points, yeah, Mystic Beasly is right. This second point is definitely going to go in favor of Epsilon as well. I didn't say that before it happened, but it did happen. And now that full Uber advantage is there for Epsilon, and they're going to try and push it right into the left side, and they're not going to get headshot by Rake as he goes down, but that heavy is still sitting at 300 HP as that cap comes out, and Mike calls that because he heard him calling for Doctor and jumps on that heavy, and he's not going to be able to get there in time to stop that cap from going as he is taken down. Evil Moon is taken down, and the victory is awarded to Epsilon. 7-2 win difference 5, and wow, is all I can say.
Yeah, that was what they call a game of two halves, for sure, man. You just cut those logs in half. You had those first 2 rounds from TLR, and the Epsilon were just like, oh yeah, we remember how to play TF2, and they smashed it. Beasly, let's check out these logs, and I'll just remind everybody to stay, because we're going to have interviews. I think we should have Numlocked and Heiss coming on, but I'm going to quickly head on over to logs.tf and see if I can divine any interesting patterns from these logs other than that Epsilon are pretty good. Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Try and find those logs before you.
Too slow, son, too slow. I can tell you that Mike actually top damage this one, putting out 362 per minute. Numlocked only 2 per minute behind him with 360. So strong play from their combo there. Heiss did alright as well. He was putting out about 330, and then the all-important kills and assists per death. Stefan actually doing really well. I guess once they got into those last 7 rounds, he managed to put out 3.4 kills and assists per death. Bash on 2.8. The scouts really did find their feet after being shut down in those first couple of middles. Tell me what you think about these stats, and I'll try and move these guys in for the interview.
Looking at these stats, I'm seeing that Gear, he really just kind of shut down the scouts for TLR. Like you said, they were doing a lot of damage. Kyle for fun with a 202 damage per minute, and Rake with the 183 damage per minute. That's actually really low numbers, but looking at how that match started off, they were doing absolutely phenomenal, taking out everybody and backcapping 2 rounds for their team. And as soon as Gear spotted that and started taking them out, everything kind of fell apart for TLR. And his 245 damage per minute might be entirely on the scouts for TLR. I don't know if he actually shot at anybody else.
I'd love to see the logs, like if we could just first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
That was the game proper that we just saw there of the ETF2L Season 16 powered by Blackout Gaming Premiership Week 7 fixture between the Last Resort and Epsilon eSports by Fragnet Networks. It finished with both maps going to Epsilon pretty convincingly, but not